He's going to come get those pants. About 20 minutes or so.
Okay. I'm live. Shit.
Been live?
No. I messed up today, guys. I made a mistake in scheduling, and then that mistake turned into another mistake. You know what, though? I'm sleepy today. So anyways, it'll be a little short and sweet. Just kind of wanted to come on and talk a little bit because it's been a minute since we did an episode. I know that Danny's not here today. She might want to join us tomorrow. If she wants to, that is. As you all know, she moved to Florida. So I don't know if she'll want to continue on with the Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club. She may. Chit-chat with us, especially since she's got the Artemis series coming to Knoxville tomorrow, which is very exciting. While I'm on here kind of talking to you guys, I'll kind of give you a preview of everything you can look forward to. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I've just been really busy and not been able to get on for an episode. I know that we were going to have Nikki Sullivan on, and I ended up totally messing that one up too, because I had a teammate fighting for Hard Rock MMA in hold on. I had a teammate fighting for Hard Rock MMA up in Elizabethtown. Matt Moore, he's the I got him guy. But anyways, with COVID and everything that it's fucking up left and right, they decided to have the fighters get there way earlier than what I ever recall fighters having to get there. Matter of fact, I had not even been to an MMA event since like this time last year. And I wanted to go. I love local MMA. It's probably one of my favorite things to go and see. I would rather go watch a local MMA show than watch like the UFC on TV. It's just more exciting. You know the people, you're invested in what they've got going on. So anyways, we had to leave really early. So Nikki and I had a conflict of schedule because she is traveling. If you follow her on Instagram or Facebook, you can kind of see what she's up to, traveling and training and things like that. But she is going to be on probably either Sunday or Monday. And we're going to talk about her seminar that she's doing for the Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club, which is very exciting. This is our third year doing it. I started the Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club back in 2017, I guess. It's just a good opportunity for women to get together and train, cross-train. If you don't have a lot of women in your gym, it's a good space to meet upper belt women who've already been training sometimes from 6 to 10 years to, be able to have kind of a mentor in somebody who probably has had the experiences that you're going through. So that's one of the reasons that we do that. Another reason is to be able to roll live with other women that are, maybe your rank or even above your rank, and just kind of get a feel for that, especially if you're in a predominantly male-dominated gym. It can give you a better idea of what it's like for somebody to get competitive with you, which can be a shocker to the system, especially if you've never competed. So that's coming up January 2nd. So like I said, it'll be our third anniversary, Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club. Nikki Sullivan, Atos black belt, multiple time world champion in different things, pans, things like that. She's a great instructor. She always brings a lot of really good information. So always excited to have her back. And it's only $50. So you PayPal or Venmo her. Make sure to send it to friends and family because PayPal does take a fee if you don't do that. So she does that seminar for us. She's really kind in that she doesn't, require a lot from us, but definitely jump on that opportunity if you can, and make sure to get registered early because we're going to start doing giveaways. For the earlier you register, you're put into a drawing for giveaways. So we have some sponsors for the event. Retro Grappler sponsors the event. What they're going to do, and they're going to be our first giveaway. So if you get registered for this event before November 20th, your name is going to be in a drawing for a Retro Grappler rash guard. and they're a really good quality rash guard, great fit. They actually have started doing some of my custom work. So make sure that you get registered so that you have a chance to win that. And he's very kind in that he doesn't just give me a rash guard and say, you know, whoever it fits, whatever, I don't care. He actually will give me a code so that if you win the Retro Grappler rash guard, you get to go on his site and pick out whatever rash guard you want. So that's kind of a really nice benefit that Retro Grappler throws out there for us. So make sure that you get registered by the November 20th date so that your name can go into a drawing for that. If you go ahead and register, and there's several people that are after that gear, no worries. If you register before the 20th, you don't win the Retro Grappler rash guard. I have other sponsors. So Tim Morthland over at Bwjjc is actually giving away, you know what? Let me check. He's giving away, you can pick either a pair of spats or shorts, your choice. And he's also going to give he's going to give a rash guard and spats. So you'll have 2 opportunities to win there. And he's also going to just kind of give the code so that you can pick out what you want. So that's pretty cool. So if you don't win the Retro Grappler rash guard, but you register by the 20th, the next drawing we do that'll probably be like on the 25th to get registered by, will go in the hat twice. So that you have double the chances of winning the next one, along with the people who register between the 20th and the 25th. So the earlier you register, the more opportunity you have to win one of the awesome prize packages that our sponsors of the event give us. And like I said, a lot of these guys are letting you choose what you want. So it's not just like, hey, they gave me this t-shirt, it's extra large, sorry about your luck. Tim's letting you pick if you want a rash guard, which rash guard you want from Bwjjc. And then he's also, for the drawing after that, he's giving us either shorts or spats that you can pick what it is that you want. So that's kind of exciting. So make sure that you get registered. You get registered early. You're going to have a lot of opportunity to win some cool jiu-jitsu gear. We all know that shit's expensive. So, you know, you're getting an awesome seminar for $50. You're getting to meet other women from around the state. Then you registered early. You win a fucking $45 rash guard. I mean, it's a no-lose situation to register early. And you've not spent money right before Christmas. So anyways, just kind of hyping that up a little bit. So Nikki will be on here to talk to us in the next coming days. Talk about, you know, competition, training, things like that. She is from our area, obviously. So if you have any questions, please feel free to IM me. I'm happy to ask them as long as they're appropriate. Never like to, you know, put anybody too bad on the spot. But that's pretty exciting. Then the other thing that we have coming up that we're paying attention to is Artemis. That's going down tomorrow in Knoxville, Tennessee. They have the women's 135 and under pro bracket for brown and black belts. I think they're actually looking for somebody to hop into that. It's $1,000 cash prize for whoever wins first place. But they got a lot of really talented ladies in it. I know with the brown and blacks, they've got Samantha Seff. You can see her there. Obviously stacked. She's, I think, a brown belt out of North Carolina. Maybe I could be wrong. We have obviously here Marissa Pinder. I don't know if you guys can see her. She's a brown belt out of Vision MMA, Team Sean Hammonds. Long time in the game. We have Fatima Klein. I don't know much about her, but I'm sure very talented, as they all are. And then, of course, Trinity, I think, Pun. She's very talented. I think she's a Henzo Gracie gal out of New York. We have Alec Enriquez. I think she just won maybe, I think she just won one of the IBJJF tournaments, Worlds, recently in her division. We have Fabiana George, 10P4L, very talented brown belt. And I think she's out of Colorado, but she also trains in Alabama. Very talented. And then I think Heather Rafferty just won the IBJJF Worlds black belt bracket. She's in there, so very talented. I think they're selling tickets to it. You don't want to miss it if you can get out and watch her. Probably one of the best in the world right now. So be sure to check that out. And then I think they have also a blue and purple belt bracket, 135 and under tomorrow. They have Kayla Brown. I don't know much about her. Nakia Jackson, who actually won the last one. She was just a blue belt and won the purple blue bracket last time. Very talented. They have Samantha Seff, who I think won the 135 and up bracket at the last Artemis. Michelle Day, Nogi World Champion 2019. Sophia Casella, don't know much about her. Let's see. Carolina Cordova, don't really know much about her either. Tori Dean, very talented. I think she was probably the one I did not expect to do so well, but she just really was impressive in the last Artemis. So, be sure to check that out. And then finally we have Paige Farley. I don't know a whole lot about her either, but I know a lot of these ladies are very talented. So be sure to check that out. They do a live stream, and last time it was a very entertaining show. So be sure to check that out. It will be in Knoxville, Tennessee, and so you can contact Danny Harris, who should be able to give you more information. What's up?
How are you? It's so early.
Fuck.
Yeah, I wake up at 10. I work really late though, so.
What happened? I was like, my husband and I got up this morning, and I'm like, I've got to get out and get to the grocery store, and I got to go do food pickup, and I got to get that done, and I got to be back and ready to do the podcast at 10 a.m. because Emily's expecting me. I have to be home at 10.
We did say 11, right? I was like, I think I said 11. I don't know, though. Like, the most chaotic, last 2 weeks of my life. So, people ask me questions. I'm like, look, I don't even know my name right now. I don't know anything that's happening. I don't want to be responsible for anything. And
I was gonna message Danny, but she seems kind of chaotic right now, so I just kind of left her alone. And I've been sitting on here for 12 minutes talking to myself. And the biggest thing I get from that is I talk a lot.
So for my job, I paint for my job. I do paint parties, sipping.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. But I'll go live sometimes and paint. So you can't see my face. It's just pointed down at whatever I'm painting or whatever. And you can't play music in the background. Facebook will So you have to talk, and you're talking to yourself for 45 minutes. And I'll go back and watch it, and I realize I laugh at myself.
I feel that.
Danny's thing. It's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes.
So you have
That's what I was going on about. Is Artemis is tomorrow. I was, I had wanted to compete in that, but Adam, my longtime teammate. I mean, we've been teammates since he was 14 years old, and now he's 27, getting ready to get married.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and literally for pictures, when he's doing family pictures, he's Chris, he asked him to be his brother photos. So we're close. We're very close, and I can't miss it. Right. And so I had to kind of pull out of that one. But it's really exciting.
It wants to take over. My mom doesn't understand. She gets so frustrated. But it can take over your life.
That's what I was going on about. Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on a minute.
So okay.
My life. Hold on 1 second. Hey,
okay.
Yeah, no, we had a goat out this morning. Take her.
You just sounded so Kentucky.
Will you take her and put her back in the pen? If you put something around her neck, she's right here. It's Miss Rosie.
Oh my goodness.
It's my life. All the time. Just put something around her neck and she'll walk with you. Well, she's the only one that gets out, and she gets out all the fucking time. And I think she's the smartest one. So there's no holes in the fence. There's nothing like that. She just
jumps the fence.
She likes to go on adventures. I don't know. She doesn't go anywhere, but it's just like I'm afraid she's gonna go over to my neighbors and like eat her flowers or do something.
How many goats do you have?
I have 3. So, if you could see them like running together, it's the cutest freaking thing ever. So we make soap out of goat milk. We're not like homesteaders or some like weird hippies thing. I don't know. But I don't know if you've ever used like goat milk soap. It's amazing. And I don't like, I mean, I'll just use soap. Like, but it's like the best stuff in the world. And I want to start making mat soap with it really bad. I feel like I'm in that market. Like I would.
Goat milk soap with tea tree oil
is amazing.
Or lavender to keep the mat cooties away.
Yeah, Backwoods Soap Co. I already named it.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we have a farm. We have pigs and all the.
Do you eat them?
We will. Yeah. But it's amazing. I know it's hard. Normally it's not too hard because pigs get really stupid. Like as they get bigger and their time to slaughter, like they're not sweet, they're not nice. Like you may be attached to them, and by the time it's like time, you're over it. Like they're dick. Okay. These 2 pigs we have right now are the sweetest pigs I've ever seen in my life. But I'm like, you guys need to get real mean real fast, or I'm not going to be able to do this.
Well, like I grew up in a hog hauler. Like before they built our house up in it, it was a hog hauler because hogs don't really like walk uphill.
Right.
Right. Like I don't think a lot of people know that. So like you put them in a valley in between two mountains, and they ain't going nowhere. They're just going to root around because they're not going to climb up the hill and escape. So we had, the hauler I grew up in, they used it to keep hogs in. And hogs are fucking mean. And to tease us, they would grab us by our arms and legs and hold us over the fence.
Yeah.
And tell us they were going to feed us to the hogs. And the thing is those motherfuckers will eat you. Like, legitimately eat you.
Yeah.
Like, they make jokes about, like, talking about, like, if you kill somebody, you just feed them to the hogs. Hogs will fucking eat bone and all. A human.
Everything but the teeth is the thing, is the joke. Everything but the teeth. You got to pick the teeth back. They don't digest the teeth or whatever. I don't know. But we have right now are so sweet, and they're really close. Like it's not like they're really young. Like they only have about a month left, but they will run up to you, and like not for food, like just to be pet and loved on. And
aww.
Yeah, they're a heritage breed, which means like it's an old breed of pig, like not genetically altered to just like grow really fast to get real fat or whatever. So they're just smarter, they're sweeter, I'll never do it again. Like I will never do it again.
You know what's kind of neat about hogs is they talk about too, like boars, wild boars. If hogs stay out and like wild, they actually grow hair and turn into boars.
They completely change their face. Change. Even if their tusks have been trimmed or cut, like they'll grow them back. Like they completely genetically alter, but they're so smart. People are really smart. Pigs are like.
It's weird because people think they're like 2 different animals, and I'm like, no, pigs only do that because we keep them in a pen. Like if they were just out roaming, like they grow fucking hair and tusks, and they will kill you.
Yeah, or maybe they have like I have these 2. They're like, oh, are you gonna breed one? I'm like, I'm not trying to get into that life, but like after you breed them, they change too.
Yeah,
they change. Go away.
And their wieners spiral.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that.
I just say, like, that'd be one of the only reasons that I would breed them, just so I could see the spiral. Because literally, like, their wieners spiral.
They look like a corkscrew. And I didn't know. God, we have goats too. I've never seen. Hold on one second. I want to beat my kid. Hey, I'm on this. I need you to go away.
Let's put the goat up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, go away. Love you. Bye.
Hi.
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 Hey, how you doing?
Seriously, go on. Love you.
Thanks for putting the goat away.
They're in quarantine right now from school.
Oh, fuck.
So pissed because they just got out of quarantine. So school started a month ago, and Brooke has only been in school for about 5 days. She's been in quarantine the entire time.
So my son, I didn't send him to school because we don't need it. We're home all day, and then we go work at night, which I do work, so, I teach physical education 2 days a week at a private school for kindergarten through second grade. And so it was like, and he's 16, like we really don't need it. Like, what's the point in sending him there and overwhelming the school system? But it has been miserable for him.
Well, our school, they use Google Meet is all they use.
See, we use Zoom and stuff, but we decided that we would let him go back to school because it was just not going well.
Right.
And literally he went to school one day and then we got put on red and now he's back on virtual.
Yeah, it's awful. Well,
I'm so over this shit.
I have a kindergartner and he's not getting shit from virtual. I mean, he can't read, so you have to do the entire thing with him. But in school, I was talking to his teacher. We had our first parent-teacher conferences last week. And I'm like,
what's the point?
Really quiet. He's so different from Tristan and all the others. Like, he's very calm, collected, quiet. And I'm like, is he making friends? Because he's not talking about friends. Like, he barely knows anybody's name. And he's like, yeah, he has friends, but she's like, it's really hard this year because they're not building relationships like they normally would. They're spaced out. They're 5, so they don't speak really clear anyway. And then they have these masks on top of it. They can't see facial expressions. So she's like, even the teacher was like, it's really heartbreaking that they're not bonding like they normally would. And I'm like, man, we are fucking these kids up. Like, this is not, like, I worry about it. Like, I worry about them being able to read social cues and like.
Well, it's like, it's like we say homeschool kids are kind of weird because they don't socialize. And now we're going to have a whole fucking
generation of it.
Generation of like weird ass kids.
But I have 4 altogether, but like he's got to go. He can't be here with these mongrels of big sisters that he has. It's hard to tell what he'll learn and do. But now I guess a kid on their school bus was diagnosed. So anybody within 6 feet of that kid, even though they're masked up and the whole whatever, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, can they go get tested? No, you can't test out of quarantine. Shit. So right now our school has like 250 kids in quarantine this week currently. Like the whole football team, the whole basketball team, like. So at what point do you just shut it down, I guess? I don't know.
None of this shit makes any sense to me, but we won't get into that. I think, aren't you registered for PANS?
Yes. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here.
I thought they canceled it.
That's not funny.
I'm not joking. I thought they canceled it.
When?
For real.
No. When?
Hold on. I could be wrong. I thought they canceled it because they can't people can't travel. So the IBJJF and CBJJ are very happy to announce our latest event in Brazil.
I haven't gotten an email. Surely I would have got an email.
Surely you would have got an email.
I have to look on my phone, but I have to close this out to look. I don't know.
So they have the Orlando Open 2020. Fuck. The IBJJ. Listen. The IBJJF regrets to inform that unfortunately there will not be a 2020 World Adult Championships gi and 2020 World No Gi Championships due to the extreme difficulties of travel challenges, including forbidden entry into the United States faced by the organization and athletes. These events
is that Worlds? Well,
I think it's Worlds. Yeah, it's Worlds. So what's next week? PANS?
PANS. It's
okay.
Atlanta Open, which is gi, and PANS, no gi PANS.
So okay.
And Atlanta, from what I understand, is pretty much just like fuck COVID. Like Atlanta and Tennessee is like, don't give no shits.
Well, that's how Bowling Green, Kentucky is.
What?
Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That's Carrollton. Which is so weird. Like if we, because we're in the middle of nowhere, so we have to go to either Florence or Louisville to like go shop or whatever. And when you go into the city, like if you do not have your mask, they look at you like we just wear them just to not get the dirty looks. But in Carrollton, you're looked at weird if you wear a mask.
Yeah, like that's what I tell people all the time. The further north you go, the more uptight people are. The further southeast I go, Like, I go down to my family's in Clay County and ain't nobody wearing a fucking mask. Like, they have no shits to give about it. Over in Bowling Green, like on September 15th, as a place, they decided that we're not wearing it, and they don't wear a mask. Like, we went down to the Bwjjc that was held there, and there was like no masks anywhere in sight except for a few old people here and there. And I'm talking, there's probably 500 people there. Oh yeah, and competitors, whatever.
I'm not saying COVID isn't serious. I mean, like, look, I mean, Brooke had it. Brooke was in the ICU. Like, it's real, but Brooke was diagnosed at 2. We have dealt with diseases and viruses and everything that could take my kid out since she was 2 years old. You know what I mean? So learn how you have to accept that it's real and accept that it's a risk and not be completely reckless, but you can't live in total fear, let her miss out on things.
Yeah, I don't like, that's what I talked to with Scott about, because like I don't wear a mask unless they're like, could you please put it on? I'm like, yeah, I guess I fucking will. But I'm 40, I have asthma, I have circulatory issues, and I just don't understand, like, this thing that kills like less than 1% of the people, and almost everybody who dies is like somebody who was projected to die within like 3 years anyways. Something like the flu is going to take them out. Like, and I just don't understand. Like, I just have this overwhelming feeling of like, what aren't they telling us? Like, what is it that's like secretly going on that they won't tell us? Because this just it doesn't add up, especially when you think about like, why the fuck aren't we banning cigarettes when they kill twice as many people and more people from secondhand smoke? Like, I don't get it. Like, why aren't we like banning like serious shit like that?
And there's some people that drank the Kool-Aid, that like really healthy young people that are so like, and I feel like an ass when I say that, because I accept that it is serious. I see that it's a real disease. It really, like, it did fuck my mama up. She's had to have surgery next week, actually. When she had it, coffee, she had a hernia and stuff, and it completely like ripped the mesh and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
coughing so much. So while she was respiratory distress, that's just something she has to deal with because of it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know. I don't
either, because like,
hands, I'm going. Like, they will just shut the fucking door, and somebody's gonna have like, they're gonna roll with me, because
what I don't get is like, we're out here in the hippie country in Berea, and we went hiking, and like, there are students, and literally there'll be nobody for miles around. They're standing on top of a mountaintop looking out at the world wearing a mask, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, yo? Like, that's the shit I don't get.
No, yeah.
Anyways, tell us about Pans. What's going on?
I'm so excited. I've been working really hard. So I don't like competing. Randall is competing. So like, I'll get the kind of like, I don't know, like I catch it from him, the bug every now and then. Like when I would do jiu-jitsu or like when I train, how do I word this? I don't have anything to prove to anybody. You know what I mean? Is the way I feel like. But then the other part of me is like, well, if you want to feel what anything would be like close to a real world situation, the same like nervousness and bugs or whatever that you get from competing, probably the closest thing you're going to get training. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if you were really attacked or needed to use it or whatever. But when I just concentrate on getting better at jiu-jitsu, that's when I get healthier. That's when I lose weight. That's when I feel like you're up on, I just feel good right now. I feel like I'm going to do fine. Try not to be cocky about it or whatever. I feel good. I'm ready. I've changed a lot of things. I've never really like tried to be healthy. I've never watched my diet. I've never taken vitamins or like anything like that. But I noticed like I wasn't healing. I wasn't recovering. I always felt beat up.
You can't do that. My boy's trying to microwave some food, which will cut off my internet. And I'm like, no, eat it cold. Yeah, it's, this house is like only maybe 5 years old. And it's got
Right.
some weird ass quirks. Well, this may be a personal question, but like, you know, did you and Randall work things out with everything that you guys kind of had going on?
Yeah, I mean, like, so Randall and I, I'll tell you a funny story before I even get into that. This fucking town, he moved out. Like, we separated, my husband and I. And the next day.
That's recently. That's recently. And that's why I asked, because it was on Facebook.
Yeah, that was a thing. I was like, man, do I still go to Pans? Like, what do I do? Well, that next day, I was like, do you want to go with me to get the boys' Halloween costumes? We went to Waffle House before we went to go get costumes. From the time we left Waffle House, so we got to Costco in Louisville, I had 2 messages on my Facebook. Like, our 2 and Randall went to breakfast together. Are you guys okay? Like, fuck. Only this town, you know? But no, he moved out. We've been married for 15 years almost. We have a house, 2 businesses, 4 kids, a farm, like, sorry. Like, it's a lot of strings to untie. Like, there's no, and he's my coach. Like, he really, I mean, he's just my coach. So we're trying to work through it. He's got some shit he's got to work through. I got some shit I got to work through. Like, he's back home.
Good.
We're working on it. He's my best friend. Like, I know that sounds crazy. When you've been married that long, they really are your very best friend. It's not just your spouse or your, you know, significant other or whatever. So I'm dying. We'll figure it out. I mean, he's been helping me a lot. He was supposed to go to Pants and get in. It's just really frustrating. I think that he says some of it, but I think that kind of pissed him off a little bit that I got in, he didn't get in. I know that sounds petty.
No, I understand.
You know, the whole deal of it was something we were going to do together. Like, because I don't even like competing that much. So we were going to do it together. We were going to train together. We were going to get ready together. Like, it's like bonding type thing. You know what I mean? So when he didn't get in and it was just me, for a second, I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to go. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Like, this feel better for me to get ready and take my mind off everything and good.
So
it's been,
I mean, go ahead.
No, it's good. I'm just saying, even if we had not worked out, as awkward as it would have been, he would have gone with me anyways.
Yeah, I can imagine that regardless, after 15 years and kids and everything, that you still feel very connected. But it's good that it worked out. Now that he's kind of, you know, gotten past the thing of, okay, I didn't get in, but she did. How has the dynamic changed? Has it, because it seems like it almost kind of be like a good thing, because now he gets to focus on being a coach. Whereas if he had been competing too, it could have been.
Well, his coaching style, so our gym is very, like, we call it hard ankles.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have a kids class, we want to put a big banner on the wall that says no bitch assness. Like, so his style of coaching is very, like, he's an old school wrestler. So they don't just, like, beat around the bush about it. He's very firm about it. Like, stop being a bitch, train harder. You know what I mean? Like, and that style doesn't work for me. Like, if it was from anybody else, like, it was just from another guy, like, it probably wouldn't be that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because my husband, like, we would roll sometimes and he would just go so fucking hard. And I'd be like, oh, bring it down a couple notches. And he's very like, no, you need this. And I'm like, this is fucking assault. Like, this is not helping me. Like, I was like, if it was any other guy in this gym and you heard me tell them to bring it down a couple notches and they didn't, like, you would be pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So has completely switched, like, his style of coaching with me. Like, I don't need, like, coddled or babied or whatever, but I don't know, now that he's changed that up a little bit, like, it's helped, and we're working really well together. And just, like, my training has changed. So before, I don't know if it's just me growing, getting older, or when I would do jiu-jitsu before and I would train, I always wanted to get better at what I was good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, side control is awesome, so I'm gonna learn 10 more submissions from here. So when I go to compete, like, I'm just gonna fucking go on top and whatever. You know what I mean? And now it's like, no, now when I roll, I am looking for my holes. I'm not just, like, I'm seeking them out. I'm trying to figure out what they are, and then I will deliberately get there to work on it.
Sounds like you've had a lot of growth.
Yeah, I should have been doing that from the beginning. I just too hard-headed, ego. I don't know, but I've been doing this not forever. God, I've only been doing like jiu-jitsu like 4.5, almost 5 years. That's a long time. I should have been doing it from day one. But
Well, I mean, you never know what's going to inspire you. Like wherever something can come from. You just never know where that's going to happen. Like I competed like a maniac at white and blue belt, but then after purple belt, I just really got in this like, I'm timid.
Yeah.
I'm very cautious. I want to be defensive, and I was probably like that for a good 6 months into my brown belt, and then I was like, you know what? Like I want to go back to what I used to do, being very aggressive.
Yeah.
And like you go through phases. You go through phases, and sometimes something clicks and things change. But what's most important, I think, is that you feel like you have had some growth and development, and that's the key.
Yeah. Right. Like I know I still have. I feel like I have so many more tools in every position now. Like before, when I would go compete, it was like, God, just don't get on bottom. Like you just got to be on top. Like just don't even get there. You know what I mean? Just don't even get to that. And then it's like, fuck, guess where I would end up? Every fucking time. like God, which I will say, like guard breaks. So that's so dumb. Like you learn guard breaks in the beginning. Like you should be able to break somebody's guard. That's where you should be as a white belt, is getting your ass. You know what I mean? And I just never had women to roll with. And I will say, like, a woman's guard is so different than a man's guard.
So I hate being stuck in guard.
I hate it.
I hate being stuck in somebody's guard. It's like, ugh, fucking let go of me. Let's really fight it out.
Well, the one I lost by 1 point, and I was stuck in her guard for like 2 minutes, and I will remember that forever. Like, why did I do this? Like that was like 2 years ago, and I still remember it. Fucking guard.
What's funny about that is I'm like, I fucking hate guard. I hate being stuck in somebody's guard. My last match, like I ended up pulling guard because this girl was so much bigger than I was, and I was like, fuck, hang on to her, don't let her go.
I've been working from my guard a lot too, and I always had
good.
Like I'm bigger, that I just can't do that, or I'm bigger, I can't do that. And finally, like, no, you're bigger. You just have to figure out how to do it. Like, your side, you know what I mean? Instead of just writing it off, you're like, well, that position's not for me, or that submission's not for me, whatever. No, bitch, it is. Just figure out how to make it work for you. Like, I would never triangle, or I'd never attempt to triangle anybody, like ever. And now that I've figured out how to do it, oh my God, like, not trying to sound whatever. Thick thighs, there's no there for your neck, okay? Like, if I get you in a triangle, like, it's like that, but I didn't do it for years. I never even worked on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, God, why? Yeah. So don't write it off. Just figure out how to make it work for your body. Like takedowns. And now I'm figuring that out too. Like I would never shoot on anybody. Like I'm too big. I'm too slow. Like I just need to do heavyweight takedowns. It's like finally I was like, fuck that. Do wrestling drills.
That's what snap downs are for. And single legs.
Reynolds, I know, because fireman's carry all day. I was like, I finally figured out how to do that. Like, because that was my goal. Well, what's your plan? I'm like, snap this bitch down. Okay, well, what if that doesn't work?
Single leg.
It works. Well, that was the game plan. And I was like, oh, I'm too slow. I couldn't do single legs. I was just getting sprawled on or getting, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, well, I learned. Just started fireman's carry. I was like, that's amazing. I was like, well, what if that doesn't work? Okay, now I finally had to learn how to single leg somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
I like the single leg. I like the single leg because it doesn't commit your neck as much.
I should like as much wrestling shit as we do. Like, I ought to be like amazing at all these wrestling takedowns, but it's good. I mean, it is what it is. It just takes time and. There's no timeline. The goal of jiu-jitsu is forever. That's what I keep telling all these new people that come. We get a lot of wrestlers that come. A lot of wrestlers. And I finally had to tell them, like, look, you're wrestling. What is your longevity of wrestling? College, if you're lucky. High school,
if you're lucky.
So you go 150% all the time. You know what I mean? In jiu-jitsu, we want to do this shit for our life. So you don't have to be like that all the fucking time. Like, But I don't know. Our gym is tough. It's real tough. But that's all right.
I mean, we're kind of a tough room too. We like to roll hard and be competitive with one another, and that's probably one of the things that I noticed, like that doesn't transfer well to competition. Is in my gym, nobody's going to pull guard on me and just hold me there ever.
Right.
Like they want to roll. Like they want to work and like something's happening. And then sometimes you go to competition and then like somebody pulls guard and you get stuck there for the whole match and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like that never happens in the gym. Why does it happen, in competition? It's just kind of a weird thing. And I don't know if we should just drill that more or what it is, but like, that's probably one of the most frustrating things for me is that, it doesn't, the way that we wrestle in the room doesn't always transfer to the way we wrestle outside of here. And I mean, how do you really simulate that? Somebody just holding on to guard, like, and not really working on anything. It's a frustration for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't even know. We like Wednesdays we have dubbed like competition class where we just go in, don't do a lot of like warm-ups, like hip escape. We drill. Like we'll just drill arm bars, we'll drill triangles, we'll guard crunch, maybe. We'll do just a lot of really fast drilling. And then we just roll.
Right.
We may show a couple techniques or something, and then we just roll like 6-minute rounds. And then we talked about that too. Randall's like, well, actually, I'm like, well, let's do 7-minute rounds. My matches are 6 minutes. Let's do 7 minutes. Actually, that's not going to help you. We're going to do 5-minute rounds so that you go faster, that you don't stall. And I'm like, maybe we should just do 6-minute rounds. Whatever. He thinks like if we take a minute off of whatever I'm going to be competing, like it'll make me go faster. Like more hustle. That's his theory. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if it helped or not in a week.
I've heard a lot of different theories on that. It's like, should you do 1 minute longer than the round, or should you do a little bit shorter than the round? I don't know. It just seems like I don't. If you're trying to acclimate to a certain time, then that would seem like if you go longer, then you're going to try to prolong your cardio longer. So it doesn't make any sense really to go a little longer unless you're pushing 100%, I guess. But it's tough to decide how to do that.
I'm worried about that at Pans more than anything, is just getting fucking tired. Like
How long are your rounds?
Well, I think they're 6 minutes. I'm pretty sure they're 6 minutes. My bracket only has one other person. Okay. So I'm going into open. Okay. I'm the biggest person by far, like 75, 100 pounds from the girl in my bracket. She's really close. She that weight. I don't fucking know. But in my open, I might have a lot. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how many people get it. So I'm in open no matter what, because I'll, be on the podium. But I don't know. I've been running. I've been trying to do cardio shit that I've never done before in my life. So I may have 10 matches. I have no idea,
Yeah.
I
mean, but I run a little bit too, but I can run 20 minutes and just be exhausted, but I can wrestle for, 20 and not feel. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how much they help each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure they do.
I argue with wrestling coaches about it all the time. Like, I know you should run. Like, I'm sure it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But when you have a wrestling practice and it's 2.5 hours long and you're running for 30 or 45 minutes, or you can spend that time wrestling, because wrestling, like there'll be CrossFit guys come into our gym and they are fit as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And they'll roll with me when I hate this fuck and they're like gasping and dying. And here's this fat mom and I'm like totally you know what I mean? Like it's different cardio. Like when we started doing Muay Thai, holy shit. Like I was like, oh, it's totally different cardio, totally different, So I don't know if it's going to help me that much. I'm doing it anyway because what everybody fucking else does. I
don't know. Like, like we talk about, like Linda will like train for marathons, but like even did hard sparring, and we're talking about 5-minute rounds, 3 5-minute rounds. Like she'll still be, you know. So it's like
Things like
the capacity for your heart to expand, and for your, you know, your leg endurance, and for your, you know, cardiovascular endurance, for your heart to actually be able to pump at a pace of, you know, 165 beats per minute for 20 minutes. Like that's important, because your heart is a muscle like every other muscle. But I think the thing that we don't take into account sometimes is, like, when you are running, all you're really working is, you know, your legs for the most part, and you're running in a straight line. And you are working your heart. But I think that if you really want to improve for jiu-jitsu, one of the things that you have to do, obviously, is like threshold training. So you really push your heart to like its maximum capacity and kind of try to hold it there for a few minutes, because that happens, right? Obviously in jiu-jitsu, like try to get comfortable being at your threshold. But one of the things that running can't do for you is when your heart rate gets elevated, not because your legs are working, but from, you know, or like, like, sure, I can run, but nothing gets my heart rate up faster and pushes it to threshold, like trying to explode out of somebody's guard repeatedly, or like trying to be in like a crouch squatted position, you know, moving. That, I mean, your legs, you'll feel it. Your legs will fatigue out fast. And you know, I think there is something to training cardio, but in your cardio, you know, and running, but also training more of like maybe a circuitry, so that you're training these muscles to not fatigue out and fatigue your max threshold out, you know, from different positions. So like, I'm sure that it's beneficial because you get used to the feeling of suck, but I don't know that it's exactly the greatest. Like I do it, but
like, I know that's great. Like, I take my dog and I go run, and I'm away from my family and away from my kids. And it's kind of the same as like when you're doing jiu-jitsu, like the whole world goes away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's the whole world is gone. I have been doing cardio kickboxing too with our gym. Holy shit. So like, I guess you can go as hard or as soft, like kind of like you need to. Cardio kickboxing is no joke. Like it's only
I know it.
3-minute rounds, 30 seconds off, 3 minutes on, 30 seconds off. And we try to do it. It's not like Taibo. Like we try to do it just like bag work. You know what I mean? Not like dancing cardio. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty good. Like I mean, I'm sweating like a motherfucker after, that's for sure. So is it helping? I don't know. I'm grappling a lot. I've been doing sports meditation.
I'm sure it does. Oh, good.
Meditation is the best thing in the world. Like just bringing back to your breathing anytime you get anxious, whether before you go compete or just whatever it is, like really being able to come back to your breathing and relax and center and whatever. That's been huge. Like really, really huge. I think that's helped a lot. But I don't know. I'm feeling good. I feel ready. Now watch. I'll go get my ass kicked.
Nah. Confidence.
I really
confidence
feel about it.
Well, good. You should feel good.
I don't have cocky. Like it's not that I'm cocky. Like I know like a lot of MMA fighters, like they'll get in that, well, fuck this dude up. Like I got this. So, like that's not what I feel like. It's just, and if I go get my ass kicked, like fine. I get to watch some of the best black belts in the world. I get to watch some amazing jiu-jitsu. I'm flying for the first time ever.
Oh, nice.
I'm more nervous about that than fucking anything else. I have amazing sponsors right now. I was able to get sponsors for it. I wouldn't be able to do any of it without sponsors.
Who else sponsored you?
Franklin Roofing sponsored me. It's 2 local companies that are here out of Carrollton. And that's what I love about being in a small town is we have each other's back. You know what I mean? I have businesses here. So people need to remember that, like, during times of shutdown or whatever, whose name is on the back of your kid's jersey? You know what I mean? It's not going to be Walmart or Target. Like, it's local businesses. Franklin Roofing sponsored me. They're awesome. They sponsor so many, like, local sports, things like that around here. And the other one was Carrollton Office Supply. And she has sponsored a lot of our events. Like, anytime we had our Backwoods Brawls, she does the banners and she covered the DJ and, like, flyers, the posters, all that. She's always done that. So it's awesome. We have really, really good businesses down here. I miss being like, I want to be in a city sometimes, but you can't get that kind of shit.
No,
That
I agree with
closeness.
that.
Yeah. So even when we had the shutdown and our gym shut down, like we had so many people, they'd stop at it was like a funeral. Like, when somebody dies and like you bring them covered dish. Like, I just wanted to bring you this casserole and make sure you guys were okay. Like, but that's awesome. Like, that's important. So
That's funny. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm really excited, and hopefully, when you get back, you'll come back and join us and tell us about the experience, win or lose. I think you'll do well, though. But I think everybody will be excited to hear about it. Is this how many have you competed before?
I have, but it's really hard for me to compete, like being bigger.
Okay.
And a woman. I call myself a unicorn all the time.
Okay.
And I'm a unicorn now. Well, God damn it, when I become a purple or a brown or black, I'm never gonna have any matches. Like, so we would have this conversation. Like, I've been wanting to do bigger BJJFs and stuff for a long time. And Randall was like, you need to go smaller. Like, you need to do so many more small tournaments. And it's like, but I can't. There's nobody for me. And I always felt like that's fucked with my mind in jiu-jitsu for a long time. Like, it feels like, well, this sport is not for me.
Right.
And I think it's like that in any sport. For women, it's like, oh, you're supposed to get healthier. You're supposed to lose weight. You need to exercise. You need to do this. But then you can't find sports bras in your size. You can't find workout clothes in your size. You can't find. So try to find a fucking gi in a woman's cut in my size. It's not going to happen. So it's like, it's almost like saying, it's not for you. You know what I mean? Like, this world, jiu-jitsu for everybody, unless you're a certain size. And that sucks. The only clothes I've really found that fit me, Retro Grappler has really, really good rash guards.
They're actually sponsoring our Nikki Sullivan event.
Retro Grappler. I love Retro Grappler. They stay where they're supposed to stay. They don't move. They don't change color. That was another thing too. When you have breasts, and you put on a rash guard, it's like, whatever.
They stretch out and look funky.
Yeah, but they're amazing. And Bwjjc has really good rash guards, spats, all that. That again, don't change color. Like, they stay where they're supposed to stay. And I love it. So if it wasn't for those two brands, I don't know what I would do. But so going to Pans, that was another thing at Pans. Even going to Pans where they had to cut off the registration, I almost didn't have a bracket at Pans either. So they wanted to just put me in the open and even take me out of my bracket altogether. Yeah, which was really annoying. It was really frustrating because I wanted my points. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm going to go to Worlds. I'm not. It's like the week before Christmas now, which is really frustrating. Right. But I wanted to at least have the shot to earn my points from my bracket. You know what I mean? But I guess because the girl was so low in weight, they were just going to go ahead and give her the bracket and just go ahead and put me right into open. And I kind of had to act like a cunt about it. I hate that word, but that's what I had to do.
I think that's Linda's favorite word.
I love it. It's even more fun if you say it with an accent, you cunts. Anyway, but I had to, like, that's my fucking bracket. Like, it's mine. Like, she can cut weight if it's that big of a deal. Like,
yeah. And
nobody had ever heard IBJJF doing that before. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what they were doing, but they fixed it. We're in the bracket now. So win or lose, I'll still be an open. Like, I don't care, but
I think it'll be a good experience for you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think it'll be a good experience for you still.
I've competed. I just have never gone against anyone even close to my size. And I'm not like counting biting, but I've been submitted by a 98-pound girl that wrapped me up like an eel before. Actually, at one of the women's, at one of your events, you guys had one at Derby City.
Right.
And I was wrestling at that time, and we had a ton of female wrestlers on our team. And I was like, I'm going to bring these girls because I knew Madison was running it. So I knew she already said some wrestling,
Right.
So I brought all of my girls to it. And my very first roll, like, they're watching me roll for the very first time. They've never seen me do jiu-jitsu, whatever. And she was like 98 pounds. She submitted me like 5 times. Damn, like,
why can't you help me out?
I know, like, damn, can you just stop armbarring me? So I mean, anybody can submit anybody. You know, like it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, size might help, but I know that speed is my kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
So just because somebody is a lot smaller than me doesn't mean like I'm just gonna lay on them and squish them. You know. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just hate that because even if I do win, it's like, oh well, she beat you because she's 100 pounds more than you. Like sometimes I'll hear people say that. Sometimes they don't. They do. If they're in this like deeper, they know. You know.
Well,
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
everybody needs a reason to lose. You know, like.
yeah.
You know, like if you've worked hard, like I guess you kind of need that reason. Like I've done that myself. Like, you know, you're talented, and if it makes you feel better, like oh, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. But that
Yep.
doesn't mean that you can't still enjoy your win. Like just because they kind of need that, because they probably do. Like their confidence has been kind of shattered a little bit, and you know, like I think that's an important thing to always remember about everyone is it's not necessarily about you. You know what I mean? Like, sure, somebody will probably say, well, you know, you outweighed her by 100 pounds. Well, maybe so. But, you know, if she didn't think she could win, she wouldn't have entered the bracket. You know,
Right.
so like if you win, you won.
Yeah,
and if they, you know, if they trained for it and they get their ego shattered a little bit, then, you know, they feel like they did their best. Well, okay, that's fine. You can have that excuse. But the fact of the matter is if you didn't think you were going to beat my ass, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. So, you know,
yeah.
oh, well,
I had
you know.
That was another thing I had to change before this tournament.
Mhm.
Because, like, I'm a pretty tough girl, but I'm still a girl. You know what I mean? So the last 3 tournaments I've done, when you're rolling, you hear your coach.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like maybe it's me. Like when I'm competing, you can hear everything else too.
See, I can't
It's
hear
very
anything
weird.
else.
I hear everything.
I can't hear
And
anything, and the only thing I can hear is like I can hear my coach, which is my husband, telling me something to do.
I've had fighters tell me that too. That even when they're fighting in the cage, that they can hear their coach and they can hear some people in the audience saying things too. And sometimes it fucks with them, and they have to learn how to like block it out. But
I can't hear anybody in the audience.
Well, even people that I'm friends with, and I know what they were saying was not meaning to come off as malicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for example, like the last Midwest. Well, I heard their coach saying stuff, but even like, oh God, oh heaven, Jesus, help her. She's getting squished. Oh heaven. Like I was literally hearing her say this stuff, and I'm just like, it gets in my head. It would get in my head. I've changed. But it's like, fuck, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to do that. And now it's like, yeah, your friend's getting fucked up. Like, I had to literally switch that in my head. You know what I mean? Like, like, yep, her fucking eyes are about to pop out. Here it comes, you know? But before, it made me feel bad. It made me feel like self-conscious and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I do.
I get that.
I mean, I understand that because, like, I can hear Scott really clearly, and I can also hear and feel when he's like, you know. And I think this is something you kind of get used to because, like, I remember very clearly him being like, "Gina, you need to do this," and he, you know, he wanted me to do something. I can't remember what it was, but this girl was big, and I could not move, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Sorry." I can't help you. Like I hear you, but I can't help you. He just went,
yeah. Sometimes they get like when I coach, it's almost like playing a video game. You know what I mean? Like when you're coaching somebody that really like playing a video game, like you tell them what to do, and they just do it.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's nice when it happens.
Yeah, you're not feeling what they're feeling. You know what I mean? Like. So I had to have a good talk with Randall about that too, that if I don't do what you say, it's not that I'm not listening to you or I'm not taking your advice, but like I'm feeling something you're not feeling, or I'm feeling pressure in a different place, or like I know what's coming. We literally made code words. I'm not going to say them.
No, don't tell us now.
Nah, weight, but just different things. Like I had to learn how to play the points game. I never played point games before. I think when you go to IBJJF, you really have to like keep that in the back of your mind. And that's what I keep saying. Well, I'm keeping it in the back of my mind. And everyone's like, no, it needs to be on the front of your mind.
Yeah.
I don't want it in the back. Fuck, I'm fucking fat and I'm kind of out of shape. Like submitting needs to be what's first in my mind. And they're like, no, it's got to be points. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I don't want to play the points game. But I guess at IBJJF, like you really have to. Like you really have to. I don't know.
You do. And it's a tough one. Like I prefer like all the tournaments I've done recently have been submission only, a lot of EBI overtimes. And man, I really enjoy it because you know I've been going up against a lot of people who are like with the same skill level, but they're you know significantly bigger than I am. And if it came to scoring points, you know I know that a lot of these girls like in my last 2 matches, like if it came down to scoring points, like I probably would have lost those.
Right.
Because, you know, I ended up in guard and just kind of not being able to do a lot with it, but like kind of holding them in guard and working, you know, so maybe they would have got takedown points, you know, whatever the case may be. But because of the EBI overtime rounds, like I'm able to, you know, work my game with a little more confidence. And then if it goes into overtime and I get that position, I'm able to win. But like there's, you know, I think to myself, you know, like if I had to go against the same girls in a points tournament, man, I'm really going to have to rework my whole game plan, especially now that I already know what it's like to go against them. You know, it's a lot to think about.
So some people, who did I have this conversation with? It was Danny. She was really passionate about that Gabby Garcia Elizabeth Clay match.
Mm-hmm.
She was really passionate. She's like Gabby Garcia. She's like Elizabeth fucked her up, and I'm like, it depends on the point system and how it works. Like our black belt is very specific on how he words things. Like, no, it's not guard. Your bottom mount. You know what I mean? Or half guard is not half guard. It's half mount. You know. Mm-hmm. And he really is. He's so traditional. Like guard is not an advanced position. You know what I mean? Like, or like the fuck it isn't. You know, like you're attacking from guard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it changes. Does that make sense? Like.
I mean, it really depends on what the person watching it prefers, you know.
Yeah.
For some people, like they really like the guard, and if they see somebody attacking from the guard, and that the person on bottom is only defending, like they're giving it to the person on bottom. But you take somebody who prefers, especially if somebody who's not as into jiu-jitsu, they see somebody on top, basically. Kind of ragdolling this person around and like, oh, they're definitely winning. So it is a little more subjective, I think, to what the person prefers. But it doesn't make what the either person's doing any less important, if that makes sense.
No, that match too, that was crazy. I can only imagine, even in her guard, the pressure that Gabby Garcia was. But yeah, some people got really passionate over that, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. But we'll see. I have no intention on pulling guard. I'll go ahead and put that one up there. So that's not going to happen. I don't do that. Not that I wouldn't. I just don't do it well anyway. So, but I'm excited. We'll see. I think it's going to be good. I think I'm going to see some awesome jiu-jitsu. I think I get to go away from my kids for 4 days. I get to go to bed at like 8:30. And not have to make dinner. So all of that alone is going to be totally worth it. I have awesome sponsors that got me there. I've been training really, really hard. And win or lose, like I will keep doing this after. Because Danny has another tournament Sunday that I am super bummed that I cannot do. She's they have the Artemis on Saturday, and then she's having an open like weight class.
Yeah, Zapatero is doing it with her too. So there'll be a male division. So it's kind of the, Adam's wedding Saturday night, but there's also a Bobby Amon seminar in Louisville. So, depending on how hard I celebrate. But kind of speaking of, because I know we're kind of wrapping it up. Speaking of competition, November 21st, there's a good fight in Bowling Green. You can go to goodfighttournament.com and register for that. One of the really cool things about that one is it's on track wrestling, so you get to see who is registered around your weight class and your division. And it's a submission only, so they'll be doing. I think it's like for brown and blacks, it's like a 10-minute round, and then you start in rear naked choke, and then if nobody taps, you start in armbar, and then if nobody taps, they start in triangle. But for kids, after they do rear naked choke and armbar, it's first takedown.
That's awesome.
And then
I have the information
go ahead
for that one, but I know Good Fight's been really good about working with upper belts too to get them there. Like
they do.
So,
and then maybe you could think of anything else coming up. I know December 9th, I think Bwjjc is in Louisville.
Well, Bwjjc this week in Cincinnati, tomorrow. So
that's right.
A lot of kids going to Cincinnati tomorrow, and they do registration at the door too. So if anybody watches this, they want to get in on that. They are going to take registration at the door. So that one's going to be good. Heavyweights going. We have like 6 heavyweights from our gyms going. So if anybody never gets a match at heavyweight, like go do it. We're going to have them there.
Yeah, we only have one guy going to it. So because Adam, Adam's ruining everything this week.
Damn marriage.
I know, right?
Looked like Bowling Green was huge. So
it was, and it was fun.
I think it'll be really big just because there's not a lot, not a lot going on. Have you heard if they're going to do Midwest in Louisville again, or is it sort of?
Man, I don't know. Like, I did not have the greatest experience with Midwest. The last 2 times that we, wanted to do it, like it was, we registered and it was like, okay, it's gi and no gi, and we're 10th Planet, so obviously we prefer the no gi, but our people will put on a gi and train a little bit so that they get the extra matches. And there was no email sent out about it or nothing. But when we get there, they're like, oh, there's no kids no gi. And we're like,
nope.
That was never announced. And I'm pretty sure I paid for it, Right. So like, that was kind of like that was already kind of like a sour taste in your mouth kind of thing. But it was what it was. So we moved on. But then I think after that, like they were supposed to have another one, but I don't know. COVID's like still fucking everything up. So we'll see.
Everything up.
I'm so sick of fucking COVID.
COVID, like I feel like the tournaments they are having now are so much bigger than they would have been last year. So at least there's that plus. You're gonna have a big bracket.
You're fucking right. Like I've had an easier time getting other brown belt ladies to compete against than what I had prior to COVID. So, I mean,
because there's more in it. You don't know if another shutdown's coming. You don't know, like, if I'm going to do it, this might be my only chance to do it. So kind of like shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
That was me with this. Me with pans. Like, I don't know how long it's going to be till I can do another one or what gets shut down again. So if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. So I that's kind of been the good thing. So we'll see. Like, there's a lot of competition coming up, so I'm excited. Like, I'm registered for the 21st, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it until I go to the doctor on Monday to see what they tell me about my fall down the hill. But hopefully everything will keep plugging away and we don't get this 4 to 6 week shutdown they're talking about in January.
If we get we'll stop our kids class. I don't think we'll shut down our adults class.
Yeah, same. I don't I'll take precautions with kids just because, but adults, grown-ups get to make their own choices. So we kind of feel the same way. We'll see. But anyways, let us know how it goes. And then after you guys get done, let's get together for an open mat.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. Thank you for having me and I appreciate it. And
hey, thank you.
It'll be fun.
Tell people where to find you on social media.
Oh, it's just Emily Kinder Prince on Facebook, or it's Star-Lord and the Raptors, like Star-Lord, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Raptors because he had Raptors too on Instagram. And
there you go.
Who knows? I'm a nerd. So yeah, thank you to my sponsors. I know they're gonna watch this. If it wasn't for Franklin Roofing, look, total weird plug. He does Frankfurt, Louisville, and Lexington. What people don't know is if you have storm damage on your roof, your insurance company will pay to get you a new roof. So he does that too. So people didn't know that. They can get a whole new roof for free. I used to sell roofing. Long story. But he is an amazing sponsor, and he's really, really like awesome company. And again, Carrollton Office Supply, they do banners. If you have an event coming up, you need like promo banners, they do all that. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks. Anytime, join me. I was glad to talk with you.
All right, honey. Thanks. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm actually currently in the process of updating the Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club Instagram. So if you're wanting to see some of the ladies who are competing in the Artemis sub-series tomorrow, there are going to be some new information going out there. Again, like I think there's also, like she said, there's a Bwjjc tomorrow up in Cincinnati. So if you're like, fuck the world, I want to compete, Bwjjc does take entries at the door. It's not real expensive, and they work really hard to get you as many matches as possible. So head on up to Bwjjc in Cincinnati. I'm sure you can find that information on Facebook, or you just go to bwjc.com and you'll be able to see where that info is. Also, don't forget to go to goodfighttournament.com and register for November 21st. I know it's going to be pretty exciting. And then again, Bwjjc is coming back to Louisville, which is very exciting. So Kentucky people, like, let's get together and do this thing. On December 9th, there's going to be a competition. I know Tim is always looking for me a super fight. So, you know, brown belt girls at about 145, 150. I'm usually pretty game. So you can contact Tim Morthland for that. But he usually does a very good job of matching upper belts. So you can contact him. But just register for the tournament. It's always a really good experience. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. I know that there was supposed to be like a Naga and a Grappling Industries in Knoxville like a week or so ago. I don't know how that went. So if you guys have any updates, make sure that you tag us on Instagram so that we can share your pictures. So if you tag Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club, I'll be sure to share your pictures. Love doing that. But otherwise, you guys can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Parlor at Gina E10P. Always willing to kind of talk and see what's going on. So feel free to shoot me a message. Don't forget to register for the Nikki Sullivan seminar that's coming up on January 2nd. That is going to be at my gym. So if you're coming and you register, shoot me your email so I can send you a waiver. You do have to sign a waiver for photograph and obviously COVID and risk of injury and all that kind of bullshit that we all have to sign nowadays, as we also hand over our urine sample, it seems. I'm joking, but anyways, just be sure to register early so you can be entered to win one of the door prizes that our awesome sponsors are donating. And other than that, I really don't have anything else for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to give me a shout out if you're out there competing. We love to share it. See you guys.